Assalamualaikum badi labai lalu ngali kontong ngali bismillah bi tiloto jangal nal badi malom falli federa ngali kontong bi arabo November karotil tang anim fulola menyin sango men kono kondal da kake nyaming bi mbe luntan dole fanan sot la jang kacha membe kafula maka kacha ke bari ata manke mu luntan difa nin kumu Gambia banko kan ala kuma nukum molma ambassador Essa Bokar Sey keta moti me alon ko a marata palaso jamala Gambia banko kan anim banko e bantala o bebe kila fenti me alon ko mba jibela naba kacala nyaata dumanding ka ambassador Sey keta moti fana me alon ko ay simfa jamalel fanantala baluwo kono kabring sojer yalam bang fo ambassador yalam bang anin ka dogo ke banko la foreign and diplomatic service anin fanna ko tangol men yalon ko ala ay farman so soto ja to boto woto nabe wolle kacala bi nyaata demanding na kafuta majang wa sebe kafulam abe kaf be yilla ka be kafulam majang wato wati nana ta dorom be bulalo kono bari janimbo kala dorom badi ngolu kon nka ke nyamen na bitilo kibaro to jang mbe men kala dorom wole mu nga jibe ke kibaro la kunto kibaro lu nga men soto jang katabake o kola dorom sin ning ambassador Essa Bokar Sey sinadu kacanyin kono mbaɗigolu ñaato do kibarol to mba kibarol folola menna wala mo kibatimi alon ko aɓe dendim government vehicle control la jamali mellon nim famara sedi bala atele balanta a balanta ko ay president koto jambela moto lu wafile watara aman kan soto pura wala wafi tenyi mfamara sedi ba ay nyonko makansi falu sata député bungola kono député bungola committee me alon ko wala be kiskis ke kan ba jare commission ye president koto jambela nafuloru nin jorangolu mara nyamen ye wafi nyamen Gambia banko kam na hakilo ba kan kabin tumo menna president koto jambela mansa kunda boyda fo president Adama Barrow na la coalition mansa kunda nata ye jane commission londi pour que kiskis roke tapale anin tilimbale ko la men sodata Gambia banko kan jambela maralo koto anim fanan ka wo nyon joran fengol ta ani naful fengol ke wafi ka kodo nyini mansa kundaye wolio wo wafiro nin wo kiskisro ko ke nyamen wala fanan be kiskis kan ko tege kabin tumo menna tumirol fintita ko tapale anin tilimbale ko dol keta wo ko konole mfamara sedi ba diamata woldo ka balanko atea fanna bula kula wo moto wafol la e ko mfamara sedi ba ya itani je ko ñi manke signa floti ay sataro ke kumol la men yalon ka wolle long ñi député bu ngala committee to kadung iko ya kumandlen commando but liaji ya mudun nan kotake e ko kumallel fota ala mabe folo kola kumol men yalon ko wol man wol nimmo kote wala kumol fota nyokole e ko misalo momenti wala mu ko ya ñininka motolu la men yalon ko president koto jambe tamunu wollelti men yalon ko ye bondi state house ye samba dulalto atem famara sedi bala sata foro kono ako moto sabale woti menu bosoldi bari ye kew membula do ko nyinna pour ay moto lu nyinta ke bondi state house ke samba dula kotendo wodu ye maytandi député bu ngala committee la wala mu ko moto siata moto tantile ako bosolu be kono le ani moto sifa kotangol wala tan yata nyim famara sedi ba mulundinam mbadi ngolo hani bi nse jibe ke kibar la même fana bedending ate o benkil ngola bengo me alon ko wala be soto kan député bu ngoto même député bu ngola ñun committee di ko ka fami ko alpha bari me alon ko atele president koto jambela jorangolu ni nafulu fengolu wafi jane commission toyala e ka tele fana pindita ato député bu ñun kono ala sataro kono ay me yitandi wala mu ko ako ito lowo jambelo wafir fengolu wafiro kono ako inata safero soto kabo cabinet bulu menkera president Adama Barrow anala ministal ke sasi pour fe jorango dol beje ani naful fengo dol beje men boko kordalu ananyum fensi fa ko tongolu pour isi murundi mansa kundama e manam itol kane wafi e kana tenteng e wafola te du yaita ni je ko cabinet ye committee mel londi membe maral nu jana commission la kola ako ka safero bota wallel bulu kango bota wallel bulu pour isi wonyom fensi fal murundi aka dabo nyong nafulu fengol kono anim fengol men yalon ko to le wolel murundi ako wole mu cordado di men felenting jara so bay ka faje ko soma shopping complex anim busumbala poultry farm ako yewol besika ye muruni mansa kundama ye di Ministry of Lands ning Ministry of Agriculture la kata du yaita ni nyamen ako nying soma shopping complex ako Reliance Financial Services be nu wala to ye bulo soto je anda ko mentata kanyam fu mo tang anim fula kota nu business olu wol fanam bebe luaso ke kan no dinkirato ako wo soma shopping complex biya hayma kododo akata da kanyam fo dalasi million tang aning lulu nim bodo mbadi ngolu nse jibe ke kibaru do fanana ngamen soto jabo kera kibarti me alon ka be dending banko nyaton ko la president Adama Barrow e ka tele banko be yayo dati menkera mid the people stoti e ka dati ta atenying weekend tambilan na kono menkera nyin tenen tambila ri kunum ya tan je ko dati ta damen to wolto mu banjul sato kono di damen ti alon ko e ko ya bendum ferioto ya danda ya teyndi mo jamalu fintita ka bendum nyomi tendato je bara wo kola la manata la ben folo soto e ko ala ben folo ay men soto ni mid the people store kono e ka soto maka balamane sate wala kono adiamata namolu tiasan masakunda la tiasan Kenya la tan je ko niaje masakunda be senelal la tiolu sankan ke jokodo la nim bank ako niaje imake koy ka kenu nyamen ka kodo ko di masika kadi senelal la akoy la faka senelal le makoy ka jokko de la kodol kana kasare bulu ako kadum i reporto men soto wala muko jamal la kodol katinye bulle mol ka sunye bulana nyam fensifa kotol ako lat na nyina yake sato de puru atanyi senelalu sita banki bundal to yela kodolu taje mbadi ngolu ñun lelmu kunta kibarol di men yalon ko ngawol lel soto jang ke bondinam bantala bank gambia banko kam al sela mo demandi ni murtanan ning Essa Bokar Sey sinadum kaja kono mbadi ngolu ngali konto ngali bismillah na bitilo kibaro de jangal nal badi malum falli fadera ko ngafo nyamen drong janimbe kunto kibaro lu jibela ngaluntam bunyari mbale soto jang luntam hormari mba aketa moti malon kon defangola boslem na do ko ke nyokan Gambia OIC secretariat menketa ambassador Essa Bokar Sey aketa moti malon ko ala ko man nukum mo jamal ma sako mol men yalon ko kabula Gambia politiko noma e kabula bankola tanko karola bari fana ka bula diplomacy ni foreign service noma katum mole me alon ko nga fa nyamen ay sin fa jamal lel tala balu kono ala balu dati e nyamen mbedu no be kono mbabe bolale bari mole me alon ko anana keta num banko alpha batile ay ambassador yake Gambia banko e dulal to tarinke ay do ko fana ke banko la foreign service kabrin Taiwan France kata fo America banko kam akere mori fana me alon ko nataje fana abulata molu kono men ye balambay tan do kenum president koto jambela maralola tajirinte anin tilimbale ame alon ko wole sotota num ala maralo kono folla bango lak molu dolu sotota ye niol la ka kelo ke kaje ko de Gambia bondi wo bata kono ani wo koleya ambassadeur Bokar Sey kira modi me alon ko adabe num molu kono le meyewo wo kelo nyaton kayanum wala tan ngaje ko wabe kummalale anu fanan ñin temben na fanan nsa fale fanan ko abe banko ñini kan ñin temben na ay kankularo ke ko adabe tar la mol kono le abe dun kam politiko kono le ka fan sum political party lo mbo ko fanan kacala mbe kaca kala fanan tanko ni sabato ko la dunia karola sako Africa Gambia anina badanda na banko lu kam ambassadeur Essa Bokar Sey akere nya kontane se wodi ke so jang nse ikondong nge bula eni mol se nyokondom sa foy ko bismillah ila Michael be mute ne ninga tara isa dati dora ye Michael ni yele isa je
aywa
bismillah
ibe moy kan ne
mbe moy kan alhamdulillah
aywa bismillahir rahmanir rahim ndalta kala nyame yalon tol mo talibe dingol de so mbe duwa kala mba fola ko na roddu bikal ada min kulli wichatin bi ismil nas min armihi min al budi bis yatat mba fola ko يا مقلب القلوب تبل قلبي على دينك واجعل محبتي في القلوب الأمتك الحمد لله رب العالمين بافولو لا ولا دواتا مبيلي جام yemen fotonya lemu imun zafuno imun tirileti mun barinni wolti mun domalti non ngaddo ko kenyola fananga yente fanang bunya to kankula jam fanam be wo sele mai mam fenlo ite to mem manke kulwoti anim bunya wala benni tem bunya ni kulwode nimma wo fo nyin television do don de fanang mam bolose fan jayote adum fana nyo jayote jam to nyale mo ye wala yitandina fali so nimbara ba kita nye seoti bage kabringa je ko iye nyin television o so don ko okay nyin do de nyin koitale mo membe siring tengol ya kuru amantra duty ro afiro la wosinte jakare bage se wa fola mo me diplomacy karam foye masters na beso je amanna a successful television londi wosinte jakare bage kabiringe je ko den dar sit ni sifale nyande ji platform or sotala be mol be ko
abaraka bake ambassador Essa Bokar Sey mbadi ngolu wala mun lunta ngote bi ko nga fale nyamen an sal hakilo blendoron ko atul membe moy ka radio to gambe banko kan album moy kan Vibes FM le 106.1 FM atul mem fanam ben jibe kan dulalto al dim biti lolem sa fale fananko bawo ngal soto jam mbal dani la doron sakatul men yalon kal ben jibe kan YouTube al se subscribe na channel lolto nal subscribe ta je ale belangoma alba jelale ninga kibaro dati wara ninga video dundi anajam fancy fa ko tawol albekela mo folol timen ba sotala bari fanam nal subscribe ta fanang aka kibaro janjang soni andi wala katin dala fanang mo jamal fanang kaje wakam ma ko la kan sawrindi la kan wakilindi le do ko fanan na karola mbadi ngolu ngali jey ngal tentu nga ambassador Essa Bokar Sey le soto jang nay kontandro kele nga kunto kibaro li jibe ambassador lafa nga kacha follow damento laftale nga dati kolu be dati dula ngalon koy mukunta yan koleti isa dati ka fo mole ete wuluta damento yela dindi yake mindole anim fanan ete la kulwo la karola mun kullel sotete la balwo kono men ye wakilindi men ye sawarindi me yati na fo nsa fo bitilo de alhamdulillah nyina atina ambassador Essa Bokar Sey keta ambassador Essa Bokar Sey bismillah
nimbara bage fali woto ni kafuta OIC bari ninga wulu dula ko ngamera be kafula le kote katunte bota ma mento Gambia mota wuldo jokadu on te wuluta kuntaya adon this is just a short history pour kayita di Gambia no ko na kol nyamita nyoko no nyaadi Gambia kono about these tribes and ethnic groups kuntaya fon la chosano isare kunta meya lo ato kuntal de mama kunta kan bari ne aje kuntaya sotota bi mandinkolle atola menube bakang menube baria menube tambana menube jana dula doto menube jokaduje ika sinna tamale ibinan toli ay ba yuta menten wafula yalo wo molu menube je meta kala dokula balle ika fo alngata kuntaya bang so mandingol jama malo bari mandingol le kuntaya fenke kulli kuntaya alngata kuntaya wole kuntaya nati pour mol sa faham mune mu kuntayati mbuluta je te fama mu ustaz oleti karagedalale mu senelale mbama fanandi sim mama men taraje Amadou Sy meyem fama wulu o fana mu karadirlate dara bale babulu adum mbama fama fanan almamole mo eliman gida Muhammadu gida hamina ba son tol bota wala slolto yen tola mo menna matara balurin bi ika fay alhaji Isa Jigo almamole mo kundaya wole mo o yente tola wala basoka so this is who I am bari nimuruta nyininka kuma balla falli mone yente ki esati nga hammo soto journalist do nene nyinin kawla ko jumale mo Essa Bokar Sey ka Essa lem moti me alonko siol be mafangol be le atunkan wale ente ke Essa ti katu na headmaster follow surwalem fulanjango fe kunta Musa Nuwa Koli follow sambanya Musa Nuwa Koli jola mbota wolto Sadio Sonko mandinka woyen karandire Famara Tabali mandinka woyen karam ni aje mbenyi fokan kule ya sabu pour Gambia no si kara katu mote tarano la Gambia iko ngakutu tey bari nas nte siwo dammale ende dada wo nte esa dente dada je itol bele mat because data amite abuwa king wo mo akoli
this yo fenne be la camera kan abe jikan camera kan abe nyada mabo kan malo mun abe la kam to ko laptop o bala ila laptop o bala mulunke
I don't know defo ngawo jele bari it's not with me here among entity de nga jele de camera no fang itelem but I don't know what
not my side.
It could be let me see is it still coming?
Yeah,
it is still coming, huh?
Yeah, amantere nyara mabo kam bari abe jika mulunke la kam to ko.
I've been seeing it too, but I was thinking that let me come back. I don't know. It's still
but it's fine. I thought it was coming from your end.
No. But mko benjegan.
Maybe inya jindi camera jindi domandita.
Let me see. But I don't know where it is coming from. But it looks like a camera benuka tara mol santo thing. I'm sorry about this. Okay, so nga continue. So wala akende ko wol bele nte tunkang katu hammo bodamin kuluwo bodamin Gambia si wol bele nata yente kulu because nim tuta nun suwo kono mfama sin kulu nole bari nga kudol lom fanan silo kande kabo kuntaya kata fo bakang nyol to ka sinata baka boye kata fo Gambia be ngamurna nga kudol chansuna silo kan ngamira wo mamba suwo kono damat adu ngamira mbelem so wala akende ko mone ke esati mone ya kendi hamobije anabe so wo sifal is very important. Sa mbebe ke la fali mol si hako tunye mbatunga nying appearance of falling with another device so that ikanye memfo nying camera menka finti as he stop. Let me try something else because this is not normal. Is I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Ambassador Essa Bokar Sey, while you try to fix that and say mol hakilo blandoronko aldim bitilo lemu nal badi malom falli federa ngal be kontong ngal jayi atul men yalon ko al kafuta majang nyin temben na ambassador men sutiata mo kemes sabala wolel ben jibe kan live Facebook ni YouTube kontantan se wota kal be soto ja atul men fanam ben la moy ka radio to Gambia banko kam alnim Vibes FM lamu 106.1 FM men felenting manja kunda sate o kono an sa fale doron ko bawo ngal soto jang nsal dani doron pour al sita YouTube ali subscribe na channel men yalon ko dulal men yalon ko al ka kibaro soto wolto nal subscribe ta ali channel ma al dabetar la mo folol konole men yalon ko ibe kibaro soto la andung ka subscribe fanan is also another way of supporting us because na liyo ke doron aka kibaro janjang soni andile aka tinla fanan mo jamalu ka soto no a janjang ka soni aka futa molma dulal to tarinke bari nalbe YouTube falam al bajila alla YouTube subscription button fanam bala albe join jalaje that join ni ninga ta aliyo click wo fanam mu nyalti me alon ko al sen sembenten do nyame is one of those memberships men alon ko ni join taje ebe kodo demanding as kilan kanne o be kala fenti me alon ko it can help us as we seek to produce the show abatin nalal falang aben wakilin la ben sawarindila abo karola ngal beje ngal tendu ko nga fa nyame nga ni ambassador Essa Bokar Sey le bejam aketa moti me alon ko ay simfal mentala balwo kono a nyabo warata ay simfal menta asembo warata a dokoke ka dati sojar kunda anata dokoke Gambia Diplomatic Services a wo kola anata doko fananke fanna ko tangol to anim president ko to Jammeh fanan yenyo soto dula janneto kabin wato menna e benum army nyin kono e benum military nyin kono e bi to lel be sabatiri num bunkili nyokan wati sotanum aw kola na raddo ko ke alamasa kunda fane ambassador yala kabirin Taiwan kata fo France kata fo America banko kam so nimmo beje meye president ko Jammelong nimmo beje meyalonde insalon fanan ko ata tambila ambassador Essa Bokar Sey la wala na bi ngaji ka be kumalale ka soto jam pour naye kacha bankola kola president koto jambela kola kul men yalon ko le sotota bankola tariko kono ambassador kontanta nge soto jam silang ye kacha nying ya yela kule ya fo molie I bota damento ye kulu ela kulu nyato in the sense that itala wulu lalu molle me yalon ko do balel mudi bari lonnalel fanam mudi ya itani janko ila wulu kewo mu nung usta solti ay karanduro ke dulal to tarinke ambassador Essa Bokar Sey so la fanga fra damento kadabake wole mu to go straight into the beginning of ila professional career. A lot of public information out there centers around your time in the military. I don't know whether ye order simfaltal janebe futala woto, but ila fake nyininga menna. My understanding is you went into the military around 1984-85. This was after the coup d'etat. Wonata ke kuti me alonko. Aketa num barandi kuti Gambia banko kam. It was the time wale munu watu time alon ko kuko samba sanyang ani moko to ngol lafaka president Jawara la mansa kunda boyndi ni sembola ngaje ko mo jamalu fata kono dol ba fala mo keme lulu kata mo keme woro, but it was one of those dark moments Gambian history kono. So mune yete wakilindi kadung sojar kunda even after that tragic period, because waketa no moli sunu watu baleti Gambia banko kam bari kuko keta 81 ngaje 84-85 itate kafta military nyinkang mune wono mune atin na fanam ye military tombong anda manke karya kotangolte.
Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin woto isti hako boyndi nyem falli katu kol ye fenko so bemen foladrom one thing maybe mbuka wo dundi na history kono ndunta no in the military soon after school 83 bari mfundita few weeks mfama man lafinu mojama ko esa dunta findita ye mfama dal military ko nyi mamuta num bake dal so mfana bukala fika kuke memman diay so nata na dunta into action 8 na action 8 ma na doko ke nyani ja yalo mojama mawolonde so a few months right bari woto ma yata military ben kono le camouflage dungo nying. I just liked military for whatever reason. Kabirimbe Abite School Fante, I used to write to military colleges in America. Ikanjabi email or air mail kana. But I don't want to go against my father because among Kamfa, but amakum mutadal. So mfana sita for 1 year. Ninna tansapa go ya jombeti jinna. Af labo akoyeko kato ilafta nyinela. Ala ya long wotungo fon ako aya do dinna ngawo kram fo sañi akonye ko mbewo safela ngabewo dilela isita ala yetanga ya wulula na dingore gulan yusuba na ma kataballahu lana ay wole fonne akonye ko mbewo ta because among fenkeda among tara hanyiri pour ngadu military. That was the real reason. So ndunta 85 86 87 88 89 yen samba at the military school in Senegal bari woto fana yatara confederation of Kirinne, Dolka for Nimbe Confederal Gendarme, Nimbe Confederal Army. Yala two more people were saying that is where you can earn. So I was chosen for whatever reason, I don't know. Then not at Senegal, na training keje, Muruta na Gambia. And then 1990, again, I just thought of Kadum Farmer Sonta. Sa inka I content lafta bulala. Nata pilot program do not in the Gambia to go and study in France. Na exam
this is just Nico Confederal Army because we have a lot of young viewers.
Yes.
So Laftadoro, you just briefly can explain more. Gambian in Senegal denta no mena. Kadu mo jamal fana mem faham. Wala mo Gambian in Senegal fana wadi sotanum isota nyokan kodi.
Yeah. That's a very, very good thing. Thank you. Confederal Army, Yalong, after you made reference to Kuko Isambasanyang's rebellion, So around 82, in fact, the confederation between the Senegal and the Gambia, interestingly, people, the young ones, may not know, they may think that it was signed, today they see Kairaba, no, this one was signed in Coup. Sadauda Kairaba Jawara and Abdou Diouf, they signed the Confederal Agreement. Confederation, of course, the true meaning of the word. If some youngsters are there, they can go and search on Google. They will know what confederation. It's not a federation. It's a confederation. Then we have the Senegalo-Gambian Secretariat. That was there before, but it was reinforced. And then we have a merger of security forces. Then the Gendarmerie Nata, Colonel Pate Seka Nyolu, J5 Nyolu. Then people like myself, Yahya, Jammeh, and others were there. So this is, it was like Gambian Gendarmerie was being trained by Senegal Gendarmerie, but the Senegalese Gendarmerie did not meet a tabla rase in Gambia. It doesn't mean that they just came, there was nobody. No, we had the field force, the police force. The training was just an addition of other pamphlets, other modules, but drill did not change. We continued the same British drill, you know. So if you want, I can give you some orders right now and say, "Take some, my match."
So you were part of that confederal
Yes,
contingent from Gambia, Mentara, Senegal training la.
correct. So I was there at the, in fact, interestingly, I was, you know, when I left school, I was very little young. So some of us went into these things at an early age, you know. So I was, the day that the Confederation was being frozen, in fact, I remember former President Abdou Diouf, he did not use the word broken or rupture, you know, diplomacy, the decorum. He said, La Confédération Sénégalo-Gambienne est gelée, means it is frozen. It doesn't mean it doesn't exist at all again. But, you know, it ended abruptly because the relationship, you know, it was not, you know, when things are done, I'm sorry to say, in hurriedly, or maybe just to protect a regime, or maybe just to, in an impulsive and compulsive way, want to create a situation where people will think that both countries will be safe. It's not as if it was studied, looked into all these things. So I think that's what led to the, but the Senegalese, at least they did their best also. At least they left the Gendarmerie there. But that Gendarmerie also, to come back to your question, was amalgamated.
Into the Gambian National Army.
And the police.
Okay.
Many people say they went to the National Army. No, some, it was not like a choice. In fact, some of them were, like some regiments were listed, were asked to go to the police. Some people were taken out of the gendarme and then taken to the army. And former President Yahya Jammeh was in the army as a military police. To be honest, I mean, you know, giving merit where merit is due, he did a good job at the Prévôté. Prévôté in the Gendarmerie language means military police. That's how he was qualified. So many people misinterpreted, saying that Jammeh refused. He stood there, he did it. No. It's not like he's refusing, disobeying orders. It's because of what he was doing at the Prévôté. It was a good job. They thought that he will also still be good to go and be in the army.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the gendarme that was Gendarmerie army ni member num Confederal Army kono. The Confederation o banda ye wollel tala dol tara police dol tara okay. So lafa ke nyininga menna. I know we'll come to Yahya Jammeh in a bit, and in a lot of time in the army, in the Gendarmerie, and in Wasifal. But lafa ke nyininga menna, you know, wato menna albenum training la kata fo ye wato menkenum in the Gendarmerie. Malel beje many alonko, in hindsight you can remember them, prominent individuals. I think, you know, what do you remember about them? I know Jammeh is one of them.
Yeah. I remember Lieutenant Ali Undur right now in United Kingdom. He was a very good brother with me. He was my senior, but we were connected. He was in the Dakar University, an intelligent man. When he was trained in France and came back. I remember E.I. Chongan, Ibrahim Ismail Chongan, of course, at the time when he came back from France, he was the one heading what we call the GTS, the Gendarmerie Training School. I remember Major Amadou Souare, I mean, who is in fact right now with me in the United States. Even if I shout his name right now, he can come to the studio. You know, I remember our own trainers also, before I come to Yahya. I remember like Tala Nying, Sajin Mamadou Conte. I remember Kopul Bori Sanyang. I remember Dwaran officer Ibrahim Jammeh. We all know him as Bakungo. You know, in the military, everybody has a nickname. And I remember Galosau. I remember my own, I call him grandfather, father, a brave man. We call him Jungel, Sergeant Usman Jallo. Yeah, he trained us
How
well.
easy was it for you to transition from civilian life into the military? How was the camp like? Because you mentioned that you went into the army at a very young age.
Yeah. Well, the transitioning, the difference is that for us, I don't know exactly now because I hear some complaints, but for us, when you join the military, the training is hard, but food is assured, uniform is assured. Definitely. We always used to be marched before the quartermaster store. They give you brand new boots, uniform, everything, polish, all free. They give it to you, definitely. It was a huge dormitory. I was not shocked. There was no culture shock for me because I lived in a dormitory for 5 years in Amity School. So it's like Amity, I never knew that was preparing me for the dormitory in the military. So we live together because that is camaraderie. That's why they do it in the military. So some of us, I'm sorry to say, but doctor's exam, each one of you will line up with the other. You will all be undressed to the lowest part of your dress. You understand what I'm trying to say? So we follow each other like that, every one of us. So you can see that that's a camaraderie, So it wasn't as far as living in there. Of course, nobody will tell you that I joined the military and then it was an easy ride. Then they did not join the military. It's not easy at all because you wake up. If people are to wake up at 5 a.m., you don't fix your mind in the military to say that I will wake up 5 a.m. No, it depends on the mood of the trainer. They can even come and wake you up at 6 a.m. This has happened. Oh, sorry, at 2 a.m. and tell you to go outside and start singing songs like I'm the ugliest person in the world. And you have to sing in Telemulu Jawata Mobiti. And you have to do that. That's military. You have to get up. They can come and wake you up with an iron rod. Can, get up. Just to show you the transitioning. They can also come. If you don't get up, they can bring a hose pipe, spray your bed, and then you have to get up. Those are the transitions I felt. In the beginning, definitely, I was, to be honest with you, Fale, I was asking myself, am I already in the other side of the earth? Am I in the hereafter now? I've been taken to hell, or am I still alive? It was not easy, but it's just a beginning. But, at the end of the day now, all these former officers, Chonga, Noor, my trainers, when I left, what is interesting in that, and I left, they became like very, very, I love them to death because I came to understand that on the whole, it was not hatred. Amadou Suare is my brother here. One time he punished us to do what they call rule. I said to myself that this man, I'll never like him in my life. That's the end of it. But today, Amadou is my best brother. I mean, he loves me to death. We live together in America here. He tells me, he said, that was good for you because I was not the most obedient, if you understand, by character. Yeah. I repel things and I refuse things, but they suppressed it in me to understand that, look, it's not your way all the time. No.
Thank you. This year, abaraka bake yo sene di bake sila lafa
ke nyembe angal ko ko bagen.
Lafa ke jidin ka men na wala mu ening because nga kala mo fanan ko ening president Koro Jammeh Albert gendarmerie around the same time. Malum for it was during aliada di nyolale ala training or whether it was later on. Bari isa fo mole because nga je fanan ko al sabatiza nyokan ne fanan dula kilingoro. Isa fo mole inala teria dadita nyadile wara inala kafunyoya adadita nyadile.
Yalong maybe at a belief or other people, but whenever I talk about Yahya, we have ended, I become emotional because Coup tambitale nga Coup fae. I was not happy, but near Jibe power is very, very dangerous. Power. Because Yahya Jammeh, the person, among kewo mo jawbati. No. Because thing I tell long men is that akan tara in certain situations, and then he defends some of us. He used to do that. Near Sorong Kuka Meloko among correct. I was one of those. And he fights for you. Okay?
Like in the
And
army.
yeah. He was an instructor when I was in the army. Yahya Manke, he was a sergeant. Yeah, understand? And then he was the one who was connected to us more than anybody. Allah lafta Tonyal. What I mean told be recruit yala. For example, ni lafta atayala. He used to be good at that. What I can bring the president yala atayala. I lafta liya malafi. Amalafi kide. Yeah.
Ataya minde.
Malo sai fa blood, but I'm more sifa menti. Nka describe no nyame. Amalafi kide la. I cannot remember seeing Yahya just being by himself at the mala quadron. No. I take a lafile molka surround domoro and mole dom. Yeah, no, that's all I left at Tonyal. This is the way I used to see him. You attire ala camp bed. I can still see him on that camp bed. Abelaring, molbe attire him ganjang kacha bekela boni spear be kumalajana. He likes those kind of things. This is Yahya, the person. So for me, I don't know how it all came about, but wotumo be zandar morialaje ye nga be training na anata ayenteta ako ngake like a assistant senior man or senior man because ako na ko everybody said that he is my person. Wogutonyali na ko ka diaen. But what I don't know now, but before he used to like me a lot, So Wosifa Lule Dunta Natema. Then after that, I invite where they have dormitory F. NASA Batita, just demanding about a long time, but we stayed together, definitely. Because the liking was more of respect and expectations of things that I am ready to do. Because Mamfanjai, Bari Ate Along of Fonte Hanita for Manghai. Ate Along. Bari Ate Fanang, politically, I can say, among Hani is a coward. But if it comes to when I am not doing psy-ops, you know what I'm saying, to criticize somebody. But if I'm being honest, he's not a coward. No. Inte wotumobe diamokam ka tonyele ka fay ko mo gena ragal gutut and all that stuff because it's psychology. Bari nte na temo nte na mo flow. Ate along who I am and I know who he is. Definitely. That's what I can remember about living with him. We used to go to the Senegalese to get our food from there, walk back to our dormitory. To be honest with you, my life with him in the military, everybody knew that he was my man. I will write a C pastor. I'm sure you like these stories because you used to like these stories at OIC. I need write a C pastor. But in coming for a bit, many money for OIC. I think Hakulis rider C pastor, Jamanol Nata, Kamol trained to be escort riders. He's very good. It's a very good motorbike being escort rider. But I think when Yahya was not selected, he was good. He passed the test. He's good. They used to go to this somewhere around. There is a quarry there. They used to train them there. Lamin Fai, Yahya, and others. So Uraro, then I'll be the dormitory killing. He will use his rider and then he was very good at that. He was really good at it. But what he said during the interview that iman lafalanum to be at the state is true. But ite samba je bondi. But when my name was submitted, for Mamfuta, bondi level.
No, but yeah, explain ko akalo mola kola wato menalbenung army in the Mary. Could that explain why when coup d'etat ketanu it was easy for people to see him as a freedom fighter?
True. Yeah, that's why I said power is bad. Even his early days, people can go back. You used to see him in joggings. Casio watch. I know he believed in what he was as a change agent and all that. But power. If you don't have the right team around you, you can be misled very seriously. Yeah, but to be honest with you, standing up for people, there are other people around, they know what I'm talking about. They were in the army. Standing up for people, fighting for people within the army, he was good at that. And then I can give you an anecdote of a story. He used to refuse, my man, it makes me laugh because we have a lot of things that are similar. I used to refuse certain things. He used to refuse too. We were taken to a cadet exam in the Birka-Manyambai forest. I was selected as a cadet. They know that I scored high in many subjects, but I don't want to bring back old wounds. Some officers went and said, I am like kind of poor conduct. I may be a whatever dangerous person to have the rank. The files are there. They cannot refuse it. Let them go and visit Fajara Barracks and look what they put in my file. So that he did not like it. No, he did not like it. So I remember one day, part of the exam, we did training, we did bush, we did everything. So they put for us to do high jump. I still remember the story. Yahya will never deny that. He's always been the type that would just go against things when he feels that it is not right for him. Even if it is not right for others, but if it is right for him, he will make sure that he doesn't like it. He walked slowly to the where they put the high jump thing. Yahya walked. He did not run. You know, high jump, you have to run and jump. He walked and took the stick and broke it and said, Hana high jump moita nyo hamne ni dafa wara neka soldat. Those things I like about it. Yeah. He did judo. The videos are there. He demonstrated before Sir Dawda Kairaba Jawara. He was chosen, him, Baibu, and other people, small now, others who did I did some training somewhere, but they did it to an advanced stage. He is a brown belt holder for judo.
Wow.
Yeah, he is. Definitely. Everything I'm telling you here is a fact. If anybody denies it, I will not even waste my time because they know that it's a fact.
Yeah. So were you together up until the time of the coup d'etat or no?
No. Okay. I left in 1990 to go and do my program, the French PADEF program.
Okay. So because the reason why I asked that, I wanted to understand whether you saw the coup coming, but since you guys were not living together,
I saw it coming.
Surprised at all?
No, mtafola ko malon nunko wobekelane. I can mtafonola because menunje adong the precipitants were there. Wala I can ngabula ntefon because some of us ngajeko cool beta taka nyamen dal. You know, it was not what we wanted because nibe sila ajil we change la jana tenin teng. Cividalo double police kana kentola IGT. We used to talk about it in the dormitories. We did not like that. We wanted the commander to be part of the gendarme. That's the honest truth. Okay, they brought Press Judge. I have nothing against him. He likes what he was doing. He was a good, I would call him a person that would run the show. But today, I'll say it. Some of us used to say it behind the four walls of our rooms that we really do not like them to bring another person who will be the head of the camp. We wanted the person to come from us. It's either Nur or maybe Chongan or maybe somebody. Then we feel that this is the Zandam who is leading. But this is one of the things. And the other thing is that there was this, the Minister of Defense was Sadada Karawajawara. Then the permanent secretaries are civilians. And then if you are a local purchasing officer, I was one of those. You will go through a permanent secretary who will look at this stuff, approve it, take it to the Secretary General. For us, we felt like this is just like civilians are entering into what we do and they really don't know what we are doing. Because it's like, if you request for a budget to go for bush training, some of those people are civilian. They don't know the impact it has. They don't know a mess tip. They don't know if you go under the tent in case of a snake bites you. They don't know, or in case a scorpion stings you. They don't know if you are wounded. We have our list, but everything was not being approved as it should be approved, because the military felt that they're treating their request like any other civilian, department's request. And that is not correct. That's why in the US it doesn't happen. So those things, we used to complain about it, and I knew that one day or the other, it's either somebody like Yahya will get up or something else would happen, because the situation was not favorable. It was not favorable at all. So just to say this, the military, let's say, between the time I left, because I left in 1990, because there was a French government PADEF program for scholarships, and just to leave, because I knew that my father would be happier if I do that. I mean, you will see that he comes back into my story all the time. Then I left, and I was lucky. We did an exam. I was selected, went to the Gambia College. We did an exam. I was selected to go to France. When I came back from France, interestingly, I went to the gendarmerie to greet people. Guess who I first met when I was going out? Yahya.
When did you come back? Which year?
In 93.
Okay, that's before the coup d'etat.
Yeah, Yahya. I met him, and then we joked. He said to me, you've left me. I've not seen you. I told him, no, I was in France. He said, yeah, you think I didn't hear? I had it. And then I still remember he was putting on a camouflage, and then we had a chat. Then after that, I didn't see him again until there were things we used to meet, because I was in the protocol after the protocol department. I used to see him, not all the time, but we used to meet. I even went to visit him at the Prevote, at the military police one day. I went there and visited him. We had a chat. So when the overthrow happened, I remember that evening. No, not the evening. It was during about morning time. I was at the airport with my former boss, Maudo Toure. I like narrating this story.
Point you were at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs
yes,
as a protocol officer.
Because when I came from France, I did not teach. I just went into the classroom 2 weeks. I was interviewed and given a job at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs as a protocol welfare officer, sometimes interpretation, translation, just at a lower scale. Okay. So when the coup...
when the coup d'etat happened, you were at the airport?
Yeah, Kabring Lumbe Makube happened. I used to talk to, like, I'm in the inner core of the planning, but Yalon Nini Molbe Kafuri. Yalon Mandigole Mefo, Ego Nyolon Kunda Kondunjinegate Wodo. Yal. So I understand the language they speak. I understand soldier language. So the airport, in fact, is this Nigerian minister, I think his name was Chisekedi, something like that. He's a foreign minister. He was supposed to come. Ala aircraft nata anyanta lanlarek, it went back. So I saw rocket launchers, I saw stingers, I saw my good old friends, we call them the toys. When I saw these toys running around, toys means arms. When I saw everybody running around with their toys, I said, my boss, I remember Mauda, he told me, are they people on an exercise? I told him, no, this is not an exercise. I don't know what else it is, but this is not an exercise. An exercise with an anti-Christ rocket launcher. Somebody went directly to the tower, the airport tower. They went there. I told him, no. I don't know. Whatever this is gonna be, it's not gonna be good. So I told him, because this is so when all of a sudden we had none of them shot any. There was no shot fired. I hear people narrating stories about it. No, nobody fired a single shot at that airport. No. But they took over the place instantly. And then we went to, when you're entering the airport at that time, the old exit, where you, not the new one. There is this other old one. I think people pass through there still. They asked everybody, including the former head of the GCAA, Mamse Jallo, and all that. They were there. They asked everybody to go on the ground and lie down flat on your stomach. And everybody did that. I did not, because somebody among them recognized me. His joke was, "Side," and then I said, "Yeah." He said, "Come here. In fact, you are not going to. We will try to go to the jeep and get you a uniform, because we know that you can fight." And I laughed. I said, "No, but I'm working at the Foreign Affairs." He said, "No." I stood aside. Soldiers are always good to each other. Yeah. They gave me a car to go, and I told my boss to use the car to go. I worked on foot.
Were you surprised when you learned that it was Jammeh leading the coup?
No, I'm coming to that. So I walked on foot. I could have gone home with a car, but I walked on foot. And I was walking side by side with them. We were chatting. Some of them walked with me. I walked on foot from the airport to Pipeline Mosque. Yeah. Yes. But that is not a problem because, I was even expecting worse because 2 times they were almost going to get me the uniform. I met some of them around Yundum Police. One of them recognized me. Bojang, he said, "Hey, Sai, what are you wait for?" I said, "No, we will talk later." So just to tell you this story, I went home.
Mbaɗigolu ning ambassadeur Essa Bokar Sey be kacakan kera telebunda luntangoti jam bitilo tumando bato felenting ala lino jita ngabera tumando I call the or something but ngalong abe kafulama ate mela bari hanibi dorom safale doron ko alnim bitilo lem mbe kacakam menna wala mu ay wato menke sojar kunda aning former president Jammeh wato menke nyokang ila wato gendarmerie aning dula kotangol to so mbe wole kacha kan bari inkontanta nsewota Ibrahima Sonko fanam bejang abe kafulama bar ambassador bina hopefully abina abe kafulama tariyata nyame bari nga Ibrahima Sonko fanan soreja Ibrahima nge konto nge bismillah ngalang ibe dumale you've been following kachabe diaring the ambassador Essa Bokar Sey be kachakan abe kachakan menna wole mu anin president ko do Jammeh wato men ko nyoka idi mol se nyokontong ya fo mole so faye mem moy ya moy nyame
abaraka bake fali fadera ening Essa kachabe diaring babake leno mulo mudadon do ninge ko arbalo ali ala nyamen doron kata karamo de so ning kabo je wato warinka ninka findulon kacha ka dari son katar kacha follow kan doron bar kacha bi diari nga je commentol fanan molbe kacha iba enjoy kam ba ka so sen min fale no wala min diko doron janning Essa be muruna nan du kare mbal danila nalbe YouTube la ala subscribe da fanan ali notification on din dal yeke on isaje aleke mo follow min ba kala mutala ni atara doron nga video nyin dundi wala na kacha nyin dundi al salom mene be kering war na yo ke fanal sen tol fanan support no ani mil fanan be gambe kala moy radio do ma flale ko ala baraka ani mbara bari fanan na social media platform Facebook lombang Instagram lombang TikTok lombang mol kam follow dawda ma flale ko al subscribe ale mol support na se tenden nin kacha anin kacha jamal mi yaron ko be kama na le jam bari falle ni Essa kacha bi diari baba kele because na ka kuma baba kele ka always ka ya jembe kala mindset faham anin cool mi yaron ko den coup d'état la Gambia kede nyadi because ngal ko Jammeh mo molde mi yaron ko ala ko nse buko safe ndaban ala ko nsa kara ndaban ala ko nse konne ka kacha bare ni modol mi yaron ko nakida jambela wala ni jambe nyolo wala na do ko ni wala na de kuma do foye e camera fo ko hani mi belong kam de man felong aro.
Exactly. I think Meyo Sabu, we had Jammeh for about 22 years. Ninku Mesavoko, Jammeh has always been there. You see him on TV. But the truth of the matter is, Mojamal Man Jammeh long as Jammeh, who he is as a person, especially Janabe Sembosotala. So Abeleko Abejele Barimo Ateje. He's been here in our face, but we have not known a lot about him. So personally, I think, as part of our effort to record history, because we need to also understand everything was by design. Jammeh Fanan, there was so much about his life, Amalafi Molie Melon about him. So I think, I always find it important that nkamol soto many along ko yalong ikang hakilima ya kuro nga DC yo soto ko reke memu ambassador Essa Bokar Sey ndeka fa na DC yo han saying benu but nabe men kacha kanum Ibrahima before you came in was the events of 1994 coup d'etat. sabe men sata kanum disio pour que hakilo bulandi dorom wala mu coup d'etat lungo nyinti coup d'etat lungo wularo birin coup d'etat keta dabendo annu ko fango be keta kan airport abenu nje birin kol keta bismillah
so hako tunye ambe na mo kontona
Nkoto baraka
ya je be jibero le na boss le be control kan ila andi ako
anti nene
kon nugo ke nyame ako nyinti suta e nugo ite boda kudara nka jibe ako ay je ben nugo ke ako nyinta e nugo fita atele be lorinje you know, so that is it. So then when I went home and I arrived home, I was talking to some people who really know me, and then they were saying, I heard others are giving at the house at Ayabekekang. You know, there was one Yahya Jammeh who used to play football for the army.
Okay.
Some people were saying that this is that Yahya Jammeh. And I told them, no, it's not that Yahya Jammeh. And they said, how do you know? I just laughed. I said, I'm not going to tell you how I know, but it is not that Yahya Jammeh. Absolutely not. Until around 6 p.m., Radio 1 FM, he started speaking. And I told him, that's the Yahya Jammeh I know. I knew instinctively that when people say Yahya Jammeh, it cannot be any other Yahya Jammeh other than the Yahya Jammeh I know. No. I knew instinctively. Of course, he did not contact me to tell me he's going to overthrow and no. But, like I said, we are all in the same family. We are all in the same military. We know the language everybody else speaks. So that's...
From the airport walk to pipeline, at that point,
he did not tell me. I did not... Okay. I cannot say I did not know.
Okay.
I don't want to answer that question. But anyway, just a joke. But I knew that it would be Yahya. Of course. For me, I was not the least surprised because, there were sort of 3 coups. Maybe he will confirm, maybe he'll not confirm. Maybe there are things he may not even know. But there are people who wanted to use it. And you remember when the former director of NSS warned the government, Sambaba, may Allah have mercy on him. Allah manema recovery kelai. There was a time I warnings came. So Wotomo, Abdusara Jangha, Allah manema recovery kelai, he was alive. And other people, the former vice president, Sheikh Husabali, all those were there. So there was a warning that Samba wrote. The history is there. Nobody can deny that. But either downplay or, this is what we were crying about. Because civilians and military, if they are together in anything, not a civilian government ning, among a genuine military leader, sort of, a clear-cut, truthful and honest intel, sort of, always there will be this broken bridge. Because the way the civilian thinks and the way they operate and the way the military think is completely different. And that's a fact. Molka Sele Suokono, Yete Laring, Ila Bungolto in Bruford Heights and other places. These are people who either stay in the barracks or at the guard room or doing training or route march and all the stuff or repairing weapons. So Allah call Hanni Kole ko albe killing is not true. Allah call fatatade. So you need to have somebody who understands. Yalong Africa, I'm sorry to expand it a little bit. Africa, ni MI moy, military intelligence, or ni national intelligence moy. It all came mira first is moment imelong ko molnyata silala menna. Nimman silala abina falli fadera dundila ko kono. Wo manke intelligence. Military intelligence is amanke ko ye dung military kono ka foko ngakari suspect le. Mang hani karila. Kari nyol siyo munyineti. No. You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't go by presumption ko nyimbe kela tenne. What you should do is just to make sure that you follow through and see natara nyimmari be ku kela men jawyat. I will take the opportunity to say that a person like was soldier men diamuto on a video ngapo mole nko eko wo mosifalu manyanna bayla wo mosifal in America here nata itolemo ibe mutalale and put you under surveillance, but at the same time use you also to know who is connected to the spider web. Yeah, so wala can the military thing, that is the bridge that was broken between the military and the former government.
Civilian leadership.
Yeah. So
peace and security demanding. But I want us to move to your diplomatic career. I know yesterday, like November 11th, like whether you are surprised that Kodo Lumenu nata finti will nata finti wokono. But hopefully, I don't know, maybe quickly on that, and then we can go into a diplomatic career. We nata menji wolum ko coup d'etat kola shortly after, soon after coup d'etat nying, idamawol nata dunyola modol father. Were you surprised by how things ended up between ila former comrades or damawol tema? Just briefly.
Yes, I was a little bit surprised though. Definitely it was too early for me. But that also found me at the same residence where I was when the coup happened. And my analysis was when they said some people who rose up against the system. In my own mind, I just remembered what happened in other military regimes in Nigeria, in Liberia, and other places. It is Burkina Faso. It is just a question of leadership. Who would be the leader, not who would be the servant, who would be the best worker. So wole kanying cool sipal nat. But the only thing I fault them for was nemo muta. The justification ko nyin laftam fala nga fa. I don't agree there. You could have rehabilitated, or not the rehabilitated, but you could have kept them, jailed them. You never know. Along the way, they may change. I mean, Jammeh, along the way, he started that until 2006. You remember when he jailed those people who wanted to overthrow him, according to him, the one they caught around Bone Road, Almamo Mane died, but the other people, he jailed them. In fact, one of them is a good brother of mine. We call him Berek, Landing Sane. Landing Sane, there was no person who was more loyal to Jammeh than Landing, but Landing is one person who speaks his mind. Whoever you are, Landing has to speak his mind. Had they kept him somewhere, engage him, they might have known what angered him, because this is the problem. Because some of these people know what is angering the soldiers, the foot soldiers on the ground. Other people would want to get close to Jammeh. Essa Bokar Sey will say, oh, there were some cockroaches in it, and they will come and tell Jammeh that this man, if you don't take him out, he's going to overthrow it. That's not right. Yeah.
Thank you, Abarakabake DCO. Mbadi olatul membela ni ambassador Essa Bokar Sey lebejang. Alim biti lolem atul membela radio to alim Vibes FM 106.1 FM. Ya ambassador lafanga ta demen to saying wala mu ila diplomatic ala kariyati menketa yedo menke doku bundata membe Gambia ni bantalanko tema ngaje ko ila second half of ila career jama beja dikito karola ambassador sirangol isita wolkan dulal to tarinke doku fananke na foreign service so kabrin Taiwan China kata fo dula ko tengol do lafa ke nyininga menna ila diplomatic career that is a nyaadi how did you start how did Jammeh come to ke tombon ke ambassador?
I would definitely want to diagnose that part, because it's a part of history that people really inyantaje understand, because mo jama be saferola ya Jammeh mo teri malti no teri ma kendi ya Jammeh yenteke ambassador ya Jammeh ya tarako mbe foreign affairs. In fact, lumme ma ibe Coup keka, one of our colleagues Famara Jase na nene dia mutaje ako ye fonyo foreign affairs le o iko ila keben to nye kamoto aka fo ko HB fila neka yala aka fo nye HB sometimes, so I came back. I was interviewed by the former Secretary General who memam tarabalu MB Wada alama nema ni kafara mobe alonko. MB Wada was the strictest person you can ever see. Yente interview at PSC with 5 other people. Kabring interview keta MB Water with all his strictness, mota fola ko way more favorable. Woma anene man te jefang. So Kabring interview nying keta yente ta, but at that time protocol office ila na boss membije. Ako yalo ne interview ke ika submissions case so that isa jibe sign final say better. Maudo Toure. Ako nyinu be qualified, but I like this Essa Bokar Sey. Maudo Toure man londo. Ako because based on our application I military ke. So wale be kela protocol welfare officer kendoti because abe order stalale abe discipline sotolale. So Maudo Toure recommendation yen offer job la. In fact, I'll give you this story. And then my first day at work, I was in a t-shirt and a jean. So Ibundur, former chief of protocol, akonye Essa, akonye fi duñ fi de sol jean and t-shirt. You akonye nyanta sutu kendo soto la. Ayen so sut la. Maudo fana ayen so sut la. Ko nte buslu de le mbota fran tol dol ma sutu ko fa wotu monte dala amang nyabo bake yalong kom ni be school rek ifana ke la nying revolutionary idea sipal soto ka ko mu western ko de bari ya ni tulungo tambit ngalo ne ko jang ni ko be revolutionary sipa na la je be mbay la ñu dogolal bato ngan na soto du ngan city kar. So that's the beginning of it. So sita je yen samba Sierra Leone for a training yalo ni diplomacy sani wo training sifal nyanta kage wotumo i Commonwealth control sponsor kan samba for Sierra Leone ye taje ye la diplomake about diplomacy hani domoro nyanta domoro kala nyam furseto nyanta mutala wala wo bebe security hani be fenga moy security diplomacy hani be nyingo fengala come like toothpick you should do this wo baby je yalo saydo ni tata ye diplomato je ne yalo ko e tutpi muta iba kala te ibe diamole yalo wo be man ya diplomacy a foni tale fali. It's a joke but it's true. So muruta nan 94 state aje kambirin Coup keta ya yalo ne ko mbije ate yalo ne mbije bari among sidrong ayen kumandi no Babukar Bless Jan wotumo atele mu deputy permanent secretary but I learned num before. You understand? Babukar Bless Jan yake minister. Ate ya feel ko nga French kele wotumo ibe George Bojang Poskang alamane America fare kele France. Babukar Bless Jan ayente recommend ko because janni ya bina coup d'etat la. I was recommended to go to Dhaka as a protocol welfare officer under former ambassador Abdullah Mbub Membunung IGP ala ya Samba ambassador yala. I was recommended. My file was already in Dhaka. So kabri woketa ye bleske ministry sita je for a while ndaw jay pana nata afana lafta ngata France because of this military background rek. Yaje ye ndaw jay bondi eta balde fana continued ko lafta ngata France. Yalo ni ala ye
menkedro
no na Coup kiti na fenkiti mota for no. So therefore I cannot even explain why they were so much interested in me because I was not lobbying anything. Definitely. In Samba France 95 96 97 natake counciloti ye post United Nations. Maudo Toure
America.
Yeah, Maudo Toure was a councillor. Bless Jan was the ambassador. Essa Fall was the legal advisor at the mission.
Essa Fall TRRC.
Yes.
Okay.
We stayed there for a short while. Yeah, Essa was there. Now, if he tells anybody he worked at the UN, it's true. He was there as a young lawyer, definitely. Okay, so Yem Bondije Yen Samba France as an ambassador. I was ambassador way when I was way too young. Less than 30. So Yen Samba, yeah, I was an ambassador very early age. Yen Samba to around 30 or so that. Yeah. Yen Samba, I was in France, covered Russia, covered Romania, covered Bulgaria, covered Swiss, covered Portugal, covered Spain. All these countries were under me. And in UNESCO. So Sida J, Amamme, Yaro Mfolota France, 95, 96, 97 as a first secretary. And then councillor, you promote councillor. Yes, Samba UN. So I'm not a political appointee. Intemo career diplomat. Yeah. Yeah. So yes, Samba UN. Gambia was a non-permanent member at the Security Council. So Wofana experience Kapuna. The workload was too much because we were.
Ambassador Lakoteke Abe Menkachakanu was very interesting. I think what is happening is they are having some weather related.
No, Benjamin.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
No, Nintumo Amanken told to weather the Malo for maybe Seattle weather the most.
Probably, yeah. Yes.
No.
But you mentioned that you ended up becoming an ambassador at the age of 30. How did you do that?
Around that.
Yes,
yeah,
around that.
Because the thing is, thank you. Let's say, for example, the appointment came this way. We were at the UN Security Council. You understand? So, Kabirin Kuol Banda, we did a fantastic job, definitely. I mean, it was not an easy, like I was saying, the Eritrea, Ethiopia in it. I have no idea what's going on, but this is not me. It keeps going on and off,
Yeah. But you can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so let me just see. Okay, let's see if it happens again. Let me check what's happening. But so Ikajeleko was CFAL was dossiers that are very heavy. Cuba sanctions, America. Until we were involved, and we are a non-permanent member. And then before we left, Babukar Blesjan was president of the UN Security Council. You can imagine that. Ikanyem foreign minister mentioned near Putin, Ikava Lavrov.
Yeah, yes.
And in Tolbe, we were there together. Peter Bolignol. So it was like a real geostrategic arena power play. And you remember Guinea-Bissau? We organized Friends of Guinea-Bissau, Gambia, small Gambia.
Wow.
At the UN.
Come down lose the Essa Bokar.
Let me check. I don't know what's going on here because this is becoming rampant. I don't know. Maybe also.
But you are back again. You have a connection with Bamba Dimbake. I don't know if La Carola.
I think it's on your side.
Okay.
Because
this
is the city of Muhammad Ali, man. We don't joke, man. So that boxing delay. So okay,
Ila ambassador career kono. Ambassador to Taiwan. I want us to look at that briefly.
Yes. Because, I was moved from
before the coup d'etat, Gambian in China, and then we ended up going with Taiwan. I know that probably also speak to Jammeh revolutionary way of doing things or whatever. But one of the things left Gambia first major international assistance came from Taiwan. You can correct me if I am wrong after the coup d'etat. Because TRRC, Nigeria also helped with the crude oil and all of that. But there were some stuffs that were mentioned at this TRRC that were also linked to Korosise. I don't know whether you were privy to that assistance for and what do you know that you can tell us?
About Taiwan, I think I would not say it's the first major assistance because you remember Jammeh also he earned the admiration of Muammar Gaddafi. So
and the Nigerians also Abacha.
Yeah, so I think Taiwan. I will give him credit on that. I think he played a role in it. Ibu Jallo, definitely for making sure
Ibu Jallo, former soldier.
Yeah. I mean, whatever you may say, Ibu is very intelligent. That I will give him. So he was out there. I mean, he was I think he was the first or one of the first who traveled there. And then it was established and, support came. But that support is not as big as, I have some people talking about 35 million here and there, 5 million here and there, but what they need to understand is that the 35 million, some of them are connecting it to what they don't understand. There is a 35 million Gambia government files. This is a loan. Sida Job Alamane Kafarikara played a big role in it. Farmer Rajata Alamane Kafarikara played. Musa Silla was there, the former Minister of Trade. Okay? This loan was negotiated, not behind the scenes, with the Taiwanese government until 6 a.m. So the money went through the right channels and came to the government. Now the spending is just like right now. You can negotiate for the government, but you cannot tell them spend it this way. Okay? So, but that 35 million was meant for electricity. You remember when Jammeh went to the Ports Authority, I machine ball received nang, you remember that? Taiwan, they were assisting with the blood gas machine donation, soft loan here and there, helping the RVTH. They were really helping in different ways. Okay? So I was chosen by him, Jammeh, believing that the 35 million was blocked. And he thought that someone like me, if I go there, I will be vigorous enough to push things to make sure that they happen. Alhamdulillah, with his support, with the support of the government, as ambassador, you cannot just say you did everything on your own because you are hired, you are sent. So we had the ICDF, this international development, something with the building where I was, and I had some staff there. Okay. Then it was a possibility for these tractors to come, but everything went through normal channel, like any government would do it. So it's not like I hear people would say, politics, when people would say, Essa Bokar Sey brought the tractors, or even the president should not say, I brought this. You did not bring it. You are a facilitator, but it's the state, the people that brought it. Because if you were not representing a state, you cannot do it. So exactly. So this is the whole thing, Fali. So the Taiwan thing is that they supported. Now, for Jammeh to leave Taiwan, I was not surprised that he left Taiwan. But another thing that Taiwan helped us with also was, I remember when the late Wajuara Alamane Marika Farikala, a meeting Sotojang, video ya nothing day as ambassador. Ikonyeko Wajuara being criticized. In fact, it was some people calling themselves APRC. I remember my reply, they did not like it. I said, well, the man who was driving my car was boss car. We rented a car. I told them, I'm sorry, I'll disappoint you, but waka men for Tonya, the motor dem boot. Ambassador go follow. How are you Tonya? Motor dija. Because I rented a car. The car I'm using now is rented. No correct internet at the embassy.
While you are an ambassador in America?
Yeah, when I arrived, we rented a car. What was right? You understand? So, Tagi, I negotiated with a Chinese ambassador who was in the Gambia, Dr. Lin. He was a good friend of mine. I told him the situation here. He wrote a letter. I wrote a letter, and then he forwarded my letter to the Taiwanese government in Taipei. They disbursed $50,000 for us at the embassy. We bought a Ford Taurus from North Carolina. We bought a Land Rover Discovery, and we repaired the flat car of the ambassador. I said there was no need for us to buy a brand new car. We have to repair the ambassador. Then internet or dunta, ngana computer at the embassy and all that. At that time, our bank account was at Rick's Bank. Yeah. But Taiwan helped, definitely.
So, thank you very much. Ambassador, Alie Doku Jamake Gambia, it's always a privilege. But laughing in Kalamina for Nata Jelako eventually in Jammeh, as most other people too, Mobina Labang, so to speak. Now, what exactly transpired? so much that Jammeh eventually inanata alnata momota tela silola. What really led to that?
Yeah, that's a question I would be, interested to answer. Because Japan, some rectifications must be done. Because, most people write online. You don't come, you can feel more forced to accept their version of in your story.
Yes.
They will want you to say, yes, this is. Some people, when I was Alama Nemani Kafarekala, Panderimbai, and then Saferoke in Gambia, ako Essa Bokar Sey fired. But the Daily Observer for Nata Saferoke Iko, Essa Bokar Sey removed for undisclosed reasons. I think I would rather prefer that. And then Washington Post, that is his area, he can research. Washington Post wrote and said, it's a diplomatic row. I was not fired. Washington Post. I was my recall.
From your perspective.
Yeah, my recall was the noisiest recall among all the ambassadors. In fact, one ambassador teased me. He said, you must be a very important ambassador because your recall is so noisy. The whole world is writing about it. I said, I don't know why. So the thing is, Jammeh and I, why we parted? There was this case in San Antonio. One person who came for training, and then there was this $50,000 that they caught from this person. Some people would relate our relations with him to things like that. There was this catchment of arms leftovers in Sierra Leone, okay, that people would have loved for us to take. Was people were coming to my office, and then there was this man who said he was going to give Gambia tractors, and he was appointed a consul. The State Department called me. I still remember the chief of protocol at the State Department was Protocol Bowman. He told me behind closed doors, he said, Ambassador, these are his words. He said, you are our star. We like you. I said, thank you, sir. He said, but let me tell you one thing. This person you guys are trying to make an honorary consul, talk to your president. We will not do it. He told me outright, because he said the guy has some issues that they investigated about the U.S. government. So for me, all these things combined, who knows? And then also the late Boubacar Balde, my dear brother, they took him to court on something really, it was accusatory, but it's not exactly what they were trying to take him to court for. I stood up and wrote the facts as they are. I think it contributed towards what made him win the court case, because him and I, we used to talk about it, this Manson case and all that stuff. So there were a lot of things happening. My position was to remain in the middle to give a very honest advice to the president. But some people in the Gambia, now if I sit back, I would not blame Jammeh that much, because there is nobody who will ever tell you that Jammeh wrote a letter and said Essa is fired. That letter does not exist. People are just talking. And then when Jammeh fired him, he got angry. No. I did not get angry. I wrote Daba Marena is no more. The letter was faxed from Kroiger supermarket to advise Jammeh about certain things. And the letter is there. One man who used to work at the World Bank, say Omar Faye. Sorry, I'm Sering Faye. Faye, not say Omar Faye, but Sering Faye. He is a highly respected scholar. He can tell Gambians the version of my story, because he's one of the first people who called for me to come to his house, because he just heard about me and he said he wanted to advise me as a young man. Let me not be too emotional about it. I may wreck myself, things like that. Because I was very, very angry, not because of I lost the job. No. That's not the case. I was angry because the misinterpretation of the story about me through certain staff and other people on the ground, that's what made me angry. Because I said that if Jammeh could listen to those people, I don't want to work with him anymore. And people were saying that, even if you would not believe it, even the late Ephraim Bai participated in those negotiations. Ephraim Bai, he did not want me to go. I told them that's over. For me, you're working with me, somebody else, that's it. So Jetolemu, Mfanang, Na Be Bula, I left everything, and then I have friends in the US. ila government wotumon den nunna I have friends menube Texas yen kumandi ikonye ko nananjan because they knew that I was ready to leave so nataje wotumo fananka birimbita Texas I have seen so many people writing letters saying that Essa is angry he's in his car he's a destitute amantara dula soton teka jelle no I went delayed Modiba member no cops anata na bungoto in Texas. I was in a big, beautiful house. Friends took me there. And then as soon as I arrived, I worked with the Horse Yules Independent School District as a visiting lecturer. So, but the issue is that the way I was writing.
Sorry to come in. I would love us to go into that. But in the case of Andamento, how it was like to be Jammeh's ambassador. Was it like there was an open line of communication in Ate Manasula Talaye call, especially it's a formal relationship, you guys had a personal relationship. How was that like in the realm of diplomacy as his diplomatic representative at the UN, America and in Black So how was that like? Is it coming cool nata urgently I telephonos or was he very informal or formal in terms of going through Minister of Foreign Affairs and Waka Kenya did a lot of correspondence in that manner?
Well, thank you. I was answering to the question of so now let's go back to the you're right. It was a mixture of two.
Okay.
Formal, informal, between him and I. It was a mixture of two because Ninsita Jambi go because Jammeh JB waranto nice nyo bulanung professionally ko doko under him was very difficult wotom mantonya. No, amanda doko koleandinte at all. No. The open line of there was this Ismaila Jammeh. He was at the TRRC. He even mentioned my name. He was at the signals. Ismaila Jammeh was the one who used to connect us. Whenever I needed Jammeh, if I call, if he's busy, as soon as he is free, if Ismaila connects me. He has never shown me the big man thing. No. Woman ke yalong ala lafta tonya. No. So the other thing is Jammeh nabe assignment delay la. You have to be very careful. Because and therefore I do that though. It's a military thing. I take a nale. I jela kolbe understand anyanta men sotola ayabe on wala kene the other day I said people who are underrating him is one of the best strategists I can tell. I can't learn a lot of men na je. And then menu nyanta diamula ni wolbe diamula. In fact he may even predict the answer as enough for go follow up. Yalon bari yalon tengalon. But menu malong ani wolka wali wonyama. It's not like I can undermine it. I would do the same thing. If the president wants to succeed, you have to go by the visible and the invisible structure. You have to go by the shadow cabinet and the actual cabinet. You have to do that. Ateka wokele man. Ake kumandile bari jana be kumala kom like be fali siato. Asafo ila brother eko fali makoy. I want him to go and negotiate tractors, fertilizer, nyin sifa. Anim wolka diamule bari aka bunya dealer ite fana yena wo but he likes initiatives. Wala maybe wala can dinna temo aman jawyano akalafi wala back initiative come ite initiative soto ya yitandala aya no ma results e fintije wala can di molka foko esa mo ala molti no that is one thing that connects you with Jammeh. So initiative ke and then what initiative caller yena kuke success yetaraje wo sifalu yalo ngapo na boss na to kodega ngato toro ke jiodin.
Uncle Essa. So you can your story jama min for denting it abe mako come back la kanying interesting figure ka faham mo nyari la madi think the president ya Jammeh but la fin ni kanal fanang at what point long for example ambassador nata kafaling kake trouble some from yoko dissident miyalonko sa ite fona nata la balambaya molkan ka falindo ñinin ka Gambia, especially in terms of konna fulol ko kasara wala human rights violations wala cool mi anon ko be dendi wala dal. At what level long ito fanan sida yaje ko hey saying enough is enough. Akanyen dale saying nda fanan saying nga voice dale nga responsibilities dale nga nyando dale kana kawata ka lafa ka falindo ka Gambia.
Yeah, yalong yemem fole tonyalem, but yalong there's this word I always repel it, the word dissident. I mean, I saw some newspapers describing me as dissident. I was not a dissident. And if you understand what I'm trying to say, not to repel you what you are saying, because you are a journalist. A journalist will ask for the people. So, but yalo moldol biji itol ka foko kabiria biji, but many years long, and the files are there. I even wrote that letter where I said a revolutionary is a person. You are either a revolutionary or a renegade, something like that. I don't remember exactly, but the letter is there. In fact, Sterling 5, member in World Bank, I will later intercept through other people. Wala kende ay kumandi. Ako nye go sumara kayo danga harudi. So was he luketa? Not that I did not dislike Jammeh. I was emotionally not emotional, but I was so concerned. Yalo akamundal go drompi nin lafta falli la baki. Ngaje ko falli ni mol bitakang adombe diamula akafonye ko esa mbe wala fo mbe lafla lipala, because I love him more than he loves himself. Wole ngawo mistake leke in certain areas, I must admit, as a human being, there are certain ways I criticize him. Yesterday, I wouldn't do it today. Not about what he was doing against Gambia, but personally, I would not, because I knew that the people around him are the ones leading him to the ditch. This is what I was concerned about. So, Kabirim Nata, Futata, Texas. Let me tell you today what my first plan was. Yalon, you asked me this question.
Yes.
My first plan was to go to Hungary, to go to Bulgaria, Nim Moldole Kacha, Natara, Ajarta Lafang, either negotiation okay or what on Ngakelo. Bari, Tubabudo dia mutanya, akonyeko. The best way is to use advocacy. Akoyalo Africa, Sako Ite, you are a good man. In fact, that day I was shedding tears. Akonyeko, I know you don't hate this man. The way you talk about this man, like Jammeh. No, I will never hate him. Ako, don't be involved in things that could be wrecking your republic. Don't do that. Ako, just use advocacy. It will take a long time. He will either listen to you or you will sensitize the people to wake up and refuse him and vote him out. Wala kendi nga advise us all subtly. Mawuli drum ngake come like they say dissident. In fact, there was a time I used to write, and my brother was with me. I will give him that credit. Binaminte, definitely. We used to write Operation Pulling the Veil. That's where I began. We used to write. He will post and put his name there. Then we continued like that. We went to a point where Bokar Sey, I also give credit to that good brother. He set up all Gambian. I was there writing. Getole Mupadiri Nata, 2006. Akonye kontenga newspaper soto, then we went. Along the way, Baba either heard about me at Padiri, Ako, Alaftanga Feng established. 2010. Getole Mahelo Gambia Wuluta and Wosipal. The reason why I chose to go against the system is two things. One is I did not want him to end where he has ended today. Definitely. Two is that Gambia, up to 2006, there was this November 11th, Fali and Yedinkala, but among Jawiano, we were virgin as far as brutality, jongolas, Momuto, Mofa, we were virgins. I did not want that virginity to be lost. I did not want us to go to TRRC. I did not want us to go to Jammeh Commission was Hifalu. Well, even in Senegal, coup d'etat mankeje bari the commissioner with Guerra phone. Bari TRRC, Victim Center, Saya, Yedol Sare, Molmalom Bemul Beming, the chief money. I don't come for no Jammeh, Waleka Nati, because some people would hate Fali Jammeh may not hate Fali, but they will come and compose a story. Jammeh can say, go and get it. Nako go and get it. Ite be kamfarin Fali kama. Jani be futala. Isi kuke. Isafa. Isafu. Ngamuta dong. Asilanta afata mbulu. I'm just giving you an example. Nameta aka accumulate wale nyama. So this is why I said, let me be out in the open. I owe the Gambia two things. I know Jammeh. I benefited from the whatever the government had to offer. The two things are, I am a son of the Gambia, and I should let go those benefits and come and join people to sensitize the population for him to stop what he was doing or for him to change. In fact, there was a time I made a video, I don't know where it is. There's a Senegalese friend of mine who called me. I said, Jammeh should do a coup within a coup. And somebody said, what do you mean? I said he should remain the president and fire every minister, every permanent secretary, every deputy permanent secretary, and bring brand new people who, you know, some of them will be as young as Fali and yourself. Those people do not owe you any obligation. You did not pay for their school fees, and let them help him run the country. That's what I meant.
DCO, thank you very much indeed. I think, you know, anybody who has been following Gambia trajectory for the past 10, 15 years would definitely know your name and the role that you have played in the struggle. So, love to look at Gambia current diplomatic landscape, you know, because just like you rightly pointed out, you are a career diplomat. You went through all the ranks, you rose to the position of ambassador for, you know, a couple of countries in the West, America included. So, Gambia foreign service, lafta your opinion, ila miro sika waledo. You know, ngalone former foreign minister Mamadou Tangara na diamutanung. I think it was on a government platform to talk about some of the perennial problems that the foreign service face. So lafake ninka menna ninga atara. Follow ila miro mumuneti in terms of Gambia la diplomatic posture be nyameng saintem be bitilo mendo. But ninga atara falin ku nyanta sotola wol mumuneti. Anyanta datila mindole.
Yes, thank you very much, Fali. HBC. We have our own names. Okay. You see, the current diplomatic landscape of the Gambia urgently needs restructuring. We should be careful that you hear always if somebody is removed from EMO Bondi Ikamoy, he has been redeployed to the foreign service. When it began, I spoke when the former Minister of Interior, Kabiriya Bondi, the head of the GMC, I spoke in Jacksonville, North Carolina, when I was training the Mossad, the U.S. Marines. I was in a hotel. I spoke. I said, Molka Menke, Momo Nia Bondidong is being redeployed to the foreign service. Wanyanta Stockland. Foreign service is not a position for compensation, neither is it a position for Kamol freeze. No. Gambia man natural resources sort of fona ko at the world market or the World Trade Organization, Bloomberg and other places. Sanyentol fana mbije mbena tulo wafila anabe manfuta water phone. Menyantantol baludila is services. And the war services, the best ones should be those who are outside, because diplomato community, imu bana already, ye moto di menna bandero bebulu, ikasutu dum, wole mu diplomatoti, imu bana banot. Ilaftala imu walti, imalafala wole mo. Because in yanta two things lekela. Ite fola banko, potential ol menu bije ka wafi banta. Moments inafa dundi no Gambia ye wo wafitina ya natina fenten tol bulu memeng itandi la fotio follow yalo wo molu menyu nyanta tarala wo banko e outside wal man nyanna kala tulum multi e man nyanna kala multi mena longo ni nyalo te kan isu juti la banko la londora karora dum fengola karo dia mu nyafan yalon diplomatol ni nata ka diamu in a speech dealer. It all like you, yalong journalism. They run for keywords. Nite ubuka wo keywords dundi la speech auto ika foleko nyim si falle mo tabas nyabas diplomatol tabas nyabas wole mo ko yela daba kurto soto jan soda jamman fenke imanta daba kurto koto san kuto sanno ete ko be na otala ibe wol patch wote ta inyanta kurto koto soto la kato mandingol ya fo nyame dom falli fankanta kurto muna mone buga o farat because nite be banda ite imang kalima jamal fono imam world strategy understand ila world view perspective is limited ite man Gambia fon fahamu ika dol tale ni wuluta banjul sere kunda amanke ko yalo dol ka fo ha ye kari chance non santo to ya ke diplomato wo is not true santo ni duma kuti je mol dol be banjulu fanan ni wuluta je wulta sere kunda ite ta fo Russia o ye ta fo India iko be Gambia wafila bari nene man futa jara so ibe Gambia wafila nyadi
abe koleal
ni woli agribusiness ni ninka ibe jabila munela ite wuluta banjul ikadum mototo kata Gambia hay ye jina yeta yala the both side lem so membota santo membota in the capital molbe nyanta Gambia fon le fahamu la follow hanni e kuni e kamundale ko you have memorize le Gambia la ko you have to memorize it then yana Gambia wafino ho won but in la molu
no I love ninka waletola in terms of what do you think practically we should do to make sure, because I have seen the idea of having a diplomatic academy for a very long time. They are retired, they've been in diplomatic service, doko ke ambassador te hani memang ke Gambia doko ke bantrabanko hani memang ke Gambia but maybe UN in black kotangol. How do you think what are some of the key reforms and how important is it a diplomatic service in that endeavor in your mirror?
Yalong Gambia Fali, thank you for the question. Yalong, that is what they call mapping and zoning.
Yes.
Itemu bankuti ibulo buka komasi ilafta kala o bankuti me alonko abe diplomatic missional sotola dural be to dunia kono war is too heavy for the economy. Kab diplomato maintain diplomat among fenge wala kendi I will not give the country's name. I was when I was to Portugal as Gambia's ambassador ndefana mo country la boss lit katunata nakodo so wo diplomato abora West Africa Senegal de Nigeria de Sierra Leone de bari na manjam pasani altol sal hakilo samba banko jumale undato fola katunde mo ngakodo dia marila wol kata suto doku wala Lisbon Portugal suto diplomato yala woman serious it's very dangerous so nimman ke kuntol fanna diplomato be futala water yep because yalo near diplomacy karang ya understand ite ka fenko ke like you do not know because I've seen us opening embassies everywhere. And you know what is dangerous about the diplomacy, what I see now? It is interwoven with political machinations. That is very dangerous.
Yes.
Because, Sani, yedoko di fali e campaign okay kendek ni campaign tambita ye fali promise ko mbedoko dilela nga memmo e mol ka memfo ni coalition obekeka ala kacha mo be sa sign ko ninketa president be nyinne dile lante Essa Bokar Sey ninte be coalition nyato ngayala wota be janjana woto katon te wo fola mo ni nga president ya soto katon ni be tamakan ite konye ko ibe lafla monela nte be lafla ke ambassador di in Nigeria je ninko e hawayo isa konye ko minana ta angale idem fuloti example because ite bota kunda yalente bota kunda emu fuloti ibe campaign kalante ninte winter nge samba South Africa te anana ne angal ite ma angale kawum yana woka banko boyinde so diplomacy mangyana kala kuti me alonko aka party politics aka government in power member in power ya compensate wo government of on nike mira bake inyanta londa ko wo ambassador aning wo mol medu be diplomacy la niye doko dila ye menno adon ye molta mene aloko they are not campaigning for bari ye doko nyinno wole ba kendila fa ye na winning ke koteke bari ne mota wo ye diplomacy tinya bake because ika même voting fali is very important mbola ngaje elaborate domani because nying training you mentioned military diplomatic academy bari janning academy fo be sotora recruitment background check orientation wole nyanto nala fo because yalo ika menke ni tata fan bi mobe ba foko I'm studying international relations. I've never studied international relations. But in America here, they invited me at Patterson School of International Diplomacy and all that. I'm being invited here. And they listen to what I say. Condoleezza Rice Nyolo, look at their lecturing. Did they study international relations? Even if they did they practice it? When she was in the government, be it a dokul menuki. It for near international relations study. We have worked together. You know what we were doing is, I can say, 90% diplomacy level. OIC. Huh? Then it is a kachal menu. It is letter civil menu. It is transactional menu. Be nimo ko ay chance na practical international transactions lecture. You will do it because you have done it. So what Sifalu, we should be very, very, very careful because not diplomacy. Well, I don't know why Dr. Tangara chose to come to say that at the tail end. Some of us have written online. Some of us have spoken to friends. But there was no issue between us. These are things he should have organized a meeting way before Ayafo Damentola. Adun Kabria organized. He should not have faulted those who are on the ground. No.
Yeah.
He should have said, we know that we have made mistakes. Okay? We are now going to recall. You can call for consultation or you can recall people. You don't need to recall all of them. Call for consultation. In Gambia, let me give you an example. Molbebe Chochola Kafoko, President Onabe Tamala, a men spend on the jet is too much. It's true. Who should help the Gambia save money? Diplomats. Consul Olbe Kiri Mene Alompo, Nafution. Near diplomacy, interpersonal skills use. Is it in a wale diam? Jawara used to do that. For outside, Akawala jet le use. The only thing you would do is to put gas and pay the landing fees, but you are not going to hire the jet.
For the aircraft.
Diplomatola do quality. It all lenyanta. President Okatama on on a passenger flight, an infant Katama with a jet, we cannot escape expenditures. We still spend.
Thank you very much. I think your very valid points on Gambia diplomatic situation over Nyaming and how to improve it. I think just like you rightly said, there is need for reforms. Basically, ngamera ntebalan na wala. But it's like lapanga jibe. Wale mu two things on Melako, and then we can look at ila political career that you have just launched. Menkeda aning in 2026 election already. So na kankularo je President Koro Jammeh kankularo ko ala faka nale kamurna Gambia. I November la from November konale almost 12. Today is on the 12th. So ite Jammeh lonne kabring jannabe sembo sotala. So I want to ask, first of all, ila miro, do you think he will follow through with his promise ko abinale? Follow, number one. Number two, what do you think would happen Ninja Mefutara from a security point of view? What are these likely scenarios?
Well, to be honest with you, I have said it before this, but I'll elaborate more. Essa Bokar Sey will never belong to the people that would say he's just delusional. I will never belong to those people. I know Yahya Jammeh, and Yahya Jammeh knows me. Not to threaten anybody because it's not a threat. I may envisage other blockages that may make it impossible for him. But if anybody believes that Yahya Jammeh is just threatening, that is before the audios he used to make. You know, let me give you an anecdote. 2016 election, he came out and accepted defeat, isn't it?
Yes.
I was driving my car from Clarksville, going to Tennessee, going to Nashville. Go. Jammeh will come back and refuse the result. Moldoli and Kumandi, it was for left and then left. No, Essa nostalgia. I still remember that person. He's a lady. Ako barihe. No, Ninto, ka you are down. Danga down. Okay. Yeah. Fali. Less than 2 hours, Yahya fitita. Wo Kumandi. I'm bejeleka. Ako nyako. Wahal ni dega. Yo beligi dang de ohaya every day si telephone. Manako no. Wahuma agmom. Damako ha. I know it. Ngalon. Kabiri ya be dia muka jelet. Agafa eko. In fact, in which year were you born? You were born in the same year like me. Goeko bidda wala. Ne momo ya miracle ya is going to accept the results. You are making a mistake. I know it.
So
but
you believe
this audio, this audio I am meant for. Let's do the analysis. Did you see the crowd in Canela?
Yes.
Somebody told me, yes, he negotiated this in few days. No. This is not negotiated a meeting. He's been in constant touch with those people over the 9 years. If he gives them instruction, they will all converge. He knew that. That was not negotiated within few hours. No. That is not true. And the people in that crowd, some of them are former top rankers in the army. Okay? These are people who are not after Jammeh for money. Some of them are rich. They are in Foni. Wol ye kututele imang sula Jammeh to eat. No. So this is why I said people have to look at the sequence of events. And you see, Gambia, we are so emotionally charged that we always they always figure call solve between wishes and convenience. So Sani, look at the sequence of events. Look at the way he is going. Why would that crowd come to listen to him? There is a reason. That crowd was not negotiated within few hours. It's a crowd that has been with him for these 9 years, or even before that. Those people are loyalists. They are not joking loyalists. They are real loyalists.
Essa,
I understand.
On that specific point.
No, so if Yahya is to, sorry, I will come back to it. If Yahya, I'm not saying Abina Atina, but there must be another reason that will stop him from coming. But the determination to come, Fali, Essa Bokar Sey, believe that 100% that he is determined to come. I don't know what will stop him from coming, because there could be other reasons why he cannot come. When they see the determination is true. There are experts, Fali, who listen to pausing, who listen to dead air. You know what I'm talking about? Who listen to the tone of the person. They have listened to the audio. I'm not saying I'm one of those, but they know where somebody is threatening and when he means business. He means business. He is not threatening.
So, Uncle Essa, knowing fully well what you know, and from your analysis and your experience, how should we deal with this situation? Because you come with cooler me around Koya for Nyamendron saying, I'm cooler me around Koetila estimation, Jammeh Amantra Chahanola.
No.
How do we deal with this as a country? Do we have preparedness? Do we have the institutional capacity to, in fact, face the reality that, look, Jammeh assassin on Gambia? How do we deal with this situation?
The first wrong, before I come to how, it's a very, very important question you just asked there. The first thing I said, the public pronouncement made by the leadership is the first mistake. When his audio came out, the answer to Yahya Jammeh is not, you're free to come, you're free to learn. If you come, know that you will face arrest. And if you come, know that the seat which you used to sit on is no longer belongs to you. I don't respect that answer. That is puerile for me. It's not the way to answer to the first mistake is that. And the other thing is,
the government should stop turning itself into a printing machine of press releases. Because every little thing, even if an ant climbs on a cockroach, press release. Come on. There are things you don't give validity to that. You are an expert in the field, Fali, that you studied journalism and communication. You know what I'm talking about. I don't think you, Fali, would rush to press releases on everything. No. There may be things that you will organize that why didn't they use the capacity of people who study communication, ask them their advice and leave it for them? The first answer should have been a press conference. For me, if it were me, if Fali has another advice, fine. Press conference. And then the people who are responsible of those kind of things should answer. Okay? And then say the journalists will ask them, they give an answer to that. Okay? But if you start at a rally, Yahya Jammeh spoke as a former president. He spoke making reference to ECOWAS agreements, UN agreements, whether they are there or not. You are telling the Gambians in public, in a rally, that there is no agreement. Yeah, Jammeh is telling them that go to a website. Okay? And the other thing is, how can they deny one thing? Even if you say there is no agreement. One thing he said throughout the speech, if you summarize the speech, he's right. He said, there was an agreement for an exit route. This is why I left. Is that not true? Now, this is what I want to say to people. To answer to your question. I think I've tried my first question, and then the other one you said, how can we handle it, right?
Yes. How do we deal with this?
The way to handle this thing is to see this Yahya Jammeh case file as something dangling between security and justice. It's not purely politics going on rallies mentioning. You know what they don't understand? There is a politician in Senegal. He is well known. Abdoulaye Wade. He said, whether dafa bon wala dafa baax politique avantage moy nañ la tuddu rek ako politico a jawyata wo a beteyata wo ako advantage is moli ke tofo itol ma lonko ibe men ke kan ibe yaale ma koy kan. Because the hits, like Fali would tell me in my office, the clickbaits, and all this stuff. You are mentioning his name every day. Iba tofo kan iba ma koy kan. Because it all come mira nanan jang even taraleja nanan ilasira tata. That is empowering other people, whether one likes it or not. None of them has fought against Yahya Jammeh. Most is so lipano bika for ndelenga solo by ndelenga bida by ndelenga. We can all say that, but it only nanyo londe for one thing. But mbeme ku kilim for it only is that Yahya Jammeh himself natara. Yeah, muta come like any other person who says he's coming back. Do they know what is behind him? Do they know what is inside for him? Anything about violence found it. No. Yalong apply what they meant for them. Monika tofo. Yalong sani, whether we like it or not, Fali. If you go and do statistics, Yahya Jammeh is very popular in the Gambia. For one. What popularity, is it not what made the current president win election?
Yeah.
It's the same statistics. Yeah. So be needed. Yahya Jammeh lola election. No. I am not saying, but I can't do a concurrent. Ninte lota election lambate win la. But so but ni momo lota be equal. Yahya when for example, right? Yeah, clear in all charges. Now, I'm just giving an example. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. Iko, Yahya te hanis hiran killing sotola at the parliament. The least he would get will be 10 seats.
Sorry to interject like that, but a political career, like Maye Dundakon and all of that. But there's an ongoing debate about whether or not Jammeh can come as a former head of state, I see peacefully in Kanilai. Dol beje wo argument lebe bulu ko ay menke abedeata a jawyata former head of state lemu, you know, mga jele dula kotangolto, ila former heads of state have done even worse. JJ Rollins in Ghana, for example, nga Cindy J Kanilai, ay taraje. But Dolko Jammeh mam nimisa, he has not shown any remorse and respect for his victims. Among some fang, basically aka diamu nyame kala no ko nyinga man sabat hanisa basically. So ninga atara kataba kesa fonye, where you stand on that debate then sinadu ila political career kono.
Where I stand on the debate is, if I were to be the president, I will not receive Yahya Jammeh at the airport with the intention of putting handcuffs on him. No. It's an ugly picture. People may be emotionally charged, they may be extremely angry, but it's an ugly picture. And then, didn't former General Solbaji come back? Didn't Ansumana Tamba come back? These are his people, right? They were with him. Like you said, the scenario of Laurent Gbagbo and others. I think if we really want to show the world that we are the democracy we are, you don't go by the applause of the angry, neither are you going to go by the tears of the unhappy. You go by what justice says. What justice says is...
Wouldn't justice be for Jammeh to be arrested and tried this year?
No, but this is what I'm saying. That would be justice, but I don't think for me, I would do it just after landing at the airport. You are proven, you are, how would they say it again? I mean, you are innocent until proven guilty.
Guilty, presumption of innocence.
But just to follow up on that, ni Jammeh do that like this year, carbon DJ was a colleague, or you think this
no,
state has the power to do that?
But Fali, he will be a Gambian in Gambia. Don't we have a government?
Yeah, we do.
Well, that will be the test for a government. This government might not have been tested yet in many ways. I mean, so we have a government, right? Who can be more powerful than a government in any country? Well, I don't know, because I don't feel that I'm more powerful than any government. So if he comes in there, the courtesy, the decorum of the political landscape, the history of the Gambia, I don't belong to those people who believe that. Like I said, Fali, most of these people praising themselves, you and I know that they did not fight against Jammeh more than I did. But I don't belong to those people who would want to see him immediately down, he'll be in handcuffs. I don't belong to that. That's my opinion. He should be allowed to learn, to go to his compound, and then the court proceedings will start to do exactly, because we want to show that we are different from him, isn't it?
That's a good point.
If it was Jammeh, you would not even think about coming back. He might have sent a squad outside to deal with you there, right? But that's the military guy. That's Jammeh. But when he comes back, for me, Fali, I'm not saying let him not be arrested, let him not be tried if there is any reason why he should be. But I don't think it is beautiful for democracy, for national unity. Now, we are talking about Gambia here, not Jammeh or Barrow. Okay? So one has to be careful also to open all wounds, and don't say that I don't care whatever they say. I have the army here, I have this. Look, where there is, for example, a scenario comes in. I used to tell you this, that there is no army in the world that can control anger in the hearts and minds of people. I would not poke that, me. It's not that I'm scared of the people behind Jammeh, but I will know how to do it for it to appear democratic and legal, not as he would do it.
Okay. Yeah. This year, I want us to, because I know you are very busy, and I'm really grateful that you are.
It's all right.
You've accepted to be here with us this long. I want us to look at politics and your political career yourself. Lafaga damento. Ngala ne yekankularo kele amamme ko ibe ikane dadum politiko konole ke fansum politique kafo londi anim fanan ke dabula mol kono men be banko presa ya nyini la feke nyini ka menna follow ke wala mu. Oh, let me say congratulations on that first. But la feke nyini ka menna yek pat yo londile pour ke dabula jari carte fayo kono bang, or is it a long term project? Number one. Number two, what steps have you taken so far, towards that, towards setting it up?
Yeah, declaration on Kele. And then I can tell you that not to show off, but if we are not the most organized, we are not the least organized institution within the politics today. Because I told people, Nkoeko on demanta more la ko copila. Katu yalo Gambia ne declaration okay. Mo jama kana foeko ni akete ni tata kari nyole ani. Yeah, they always say that there is what I call the political mafiosi of trying to make money out of people who want to set up political parties or movement. That exists in the Gambia. Even kata signature nini molbe kiri wolvanana balobe wolto. I'm gathering a lot of intel within the Gambia. I smile. You know, we know how some people have put their political parties on. Let them be careful. Wait until the campaign starts. They'll be shocked because ikamei and the ado ikake nyameng is not the same. Ning signature form ku jama bije meya lonko natara IEC ka jibe ku dolte political party register. But in Bedfutala water. Yeah. So we put on a structure. The structure, I have a technical team. One of us is a lecturer, the other one is an engineer, the other one is in security aviation. Okay. And then we have a technical team composed of the team you see, because we go around the country and engage the people. Because before you try to get signatures from people, know what affects them so that when you are campaigning, you know what to do to help them to come out of it. You understand? So, Sani,
but
we have already.
Are you going to contest 2026?
Yes, inshallah. In fact, if they want, we can contest 2025 before it ends. Let them bring it. Let them do it next month. We will go. Because for me, Fali, what I believe in is some of these people, you know, you hear, Fali, I know you may want to hear this anecdote. You hear stronghold. It is a myth. Tonyante. Stronghold TJ. Believe me, Fali, we have gone inside certain strongholds, people claiming that they were born there, and we have entered there. We have regional representatives. Don't see the crowd. This crowd count. Abe mojama boindila. Kana worry fang. Beginning with the ruling party. Huh?
No, I want to say, you know, I think, you know, as you have demonstrated, you know, you're a man of great capacity and capability. But I have a question that I must ask, because we have seen a lot of political parties in Ata, Kabula political kono Molka memfo criticisms is that most of these people be wrong yamar sindolela dol be jele for the sake of it dol ka foko tumando bato comme ye demandi me ya demandi ngomale fande e ko jamal be je e ka ke men kamba wole mu puru coalition yeke ambassador ti yeke fenkol ti wato men so what do we want to know? What do you want to know is how different is your political candidature from the rest that we have seen before? Molmen can I calculate okay ni wati botala motine moela.
Yeah, because Untold right now, if you observe the landscape, it all from they know our team is very active, one of the most active in the country, definitely. And if I were to tell people how many supporters and my statistics, they'll be really surprised. But I told my team that we are different. We are using the strategic acumen in what we do. Ndol mantaraje, mitimbe kelajang. Yala molu, meet them. Ini molka kacha. Yalong, that is what they call silent majority. Ni after silent majority, understand that wrong. Nintel ndola timo ye kacha. Imagine one thing I show you. You saw them. Our t-shirts are all over the place. High quality cotton t-shirts. It all member on the ground. Let them ask themselves, where is he getting the money from? It all go ye kodoso dole for one. So yalo molo meno ka nyinti sato dada yalo te are not part of those people who ba for lambe bola China. Gambia no le. Abije Gambia kon. Nkana kodo dundatel. Pour afana la course yirwa. It's a Gambian who is making this t-shirt inside the Gambia. I'm telling you.
So Uncle,
everything.
No, Uncle Essa, obviously comme falia fo nyame na political landscape science and thing abe dure ne parti dol sa fo no tel mu parti balle dol nar nan kuta mal fana modol sa fo ko manke parti balle bari min fo doron the market is open but la fe nyinen kala min na wala nyindi ko what is behind the presidency wala manam Essa Bokar Sey la presidential candidate koma mune ba koma what is it that should be different in terms of in terms of describing the political landscape? What are you going to offer different going to 2026? Pro Gamben or Sa Jibe is a jikino etala ko is a cartier dino etala.
Yeah, let me come to how we establish ourselves. We have written a manifesto. We have written a constitution. We did not stop there. We have written a roadmap, a strategic roadmap. We have written a budget. The budget is going to be getting the funds for the campaign, but at the same time, it will be, what would I say? I mean, a cloned budget. In anyanta kela budget me alonko, me call do lola taring dulalto, or manke come like political party bureau today, purka molu makwe. We have already started doing that. Some people we met, they know that. We will be injecting those things for people to be able to do things for themselves. For example, if you are a seller of this, if you are a seller of that. And then the thing is that the difference between me and those people is that, my brother, whether I win or not, for me, it's not about being eager, thirsty, and hungry to be a president. It's a question of participating in sensitizing the population as to why they are still suffering. Because nkakodo men do DJB, definitely nataranu man lafin na bankola, I will not do it. I will challenge, and I tell them inside the Gambia, more ya miracle kodo be bulu. I don't hakotunya. I talk like that. Wolle ka mansa kunda tinya, wolle ka state capture nachi. And I will tell them any television, more member Gambia kona, iko kodo be bulu, etako, a ponse ya ming, mansula. Yala why I talk like that? Because nimma wo bondi political correct, this state capture will continue. You understand? That's my difference first. Bari B, baluo membe Gambia, molla bata membe Gambia. Ninga foye, nimma foye, ite alone, for one. So what my aim is not to only come and be a politician and get money. No, that is not good. Wo alafon ya lo membe kono tonyante. I speak like this. Hani and the speeches moi because I have a very effective team. You can see all over the place our videos everywhere. You see how they prepared it. Probably none of those people is asking me a single dime. They believe in the mission and the vision. That's it. So the difference will be we will not come to government and make it a partition of Gambia like they did it in partition of Africa. We see Nibita, Nimfutata, Menyin Dilela, Itebekala Nineti. I will explain it because some people on the ground who are running powerful organizations, powerful parties, they are calling me because they are observing, they see the way I'm going. So one thing I want to make clear, I will never stand on the way of Gambians where it is about to form a coalition, and I know that the coalition will do the job together. I will never stand before them. They wallahi al-azim, me, the son of Bokar Sey, if we were to win, somebody sits there as a president, you do not believe that I deserve a position, don't worry about it. Give it to the people who deserve it, and keep this video. I mean what I'm saying.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much indeed. Ibrahima, you have a follow-up question, and then Kacha Kumfa.
No. Man, follow-up question of Uncle, Baraka Bake, man. I really appreciate talking to you. Nana ni man Kacha kanyo ngela fonkol ela several follow baba kele online made follow la fanang because konka fanyam toldo mo dinno la di bari. We get a lot of inspiration from Molmi Yaron Kwebenyato. You cut over Gambia. So, the same public service. So Baraka Baki for coming. Thank you for all of your sacrifice. Also,
Thank you.
good luck with the presidential campaign beyond 2006 and beyond 2026 fanang. Gambia kan sulata isifa lala aning isifa jama fanang. Mi alongo e kala mudan roke je londo ke experience nim fanan soro. Ani mantara ko kono ka fuko ke la posol damma fandi doro ngamira. I believe you genuinely really care deeply about the country. So Mafle Baraka Babak.
Thank you. Thank you.
Baraka Ibrahim Baraka, Ambassador. We have 900 live audience. A vast majority of who are watching us on YouTube and Facebook also. Mbafala leko ala baraka ala tarojang akan wakilindila akan kontan la akan sawarindile. And safari doronko while you are here, I'll subscribe na channel resaje ninga adundi I'll sebula mo follow kono menba ajela ala baraka bake. Thank you very much. I don't remember mo ka radio to. Alning biti lolem mfalli fadara Ibrahima Sonko bari nga luntam buñari mbame sura nim membe ñing kacha dima be sura ka wala mu Ambassador Essa Bokar Sey. Thank you very much indeed.
I would just want to say my last word. I mean, yes. I know you guys like saying that before you come to that. Well, my last word would be thank you, Fali, for establishing this, part of my last word, for establishing this platform. And then we didn't have the opportunity today, some interruptions here and there, but I would want us to try to find a time for us to talk about the volatile nature of West Africa. Most of us are just in our countries thinking that it's cool and done the business as usual. Molbe, Dunkam, Politico, be Dunna, Tol, be Kela, Chocho, be Kela, Bari. West Africa nyante kekula bake with these invisible marauding forces of chaos. Nyante kekula bake. Nyante kekula bake.
We will definitely find time. I think in our pre-interview, Kacha, it was one of the issues.
Yes.
But coming, but I agree with you 100%. I think what is happening politically, the instability, but also security-wise, you look at the Sahelian countries,
correct.
Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger. I think every country men serious style security
yeah.
But we will definitely find time. And I just want to say thank you very much indeed. The comments and they are overwhelmingly positive, Ambassador. Of your perspective on Gambian history and diplomatic career and all of that. Making sure that you are able to do this without any difficulties. Thank you very much.
And this one is for those watching. This one.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, Pali. Thank you.